want to deal with some quick morning buys before I start talking. Let me just see what's going to happen real quick. But right now we're looking at AEMD, and if you haven't heard, huge news on AEMD. As you can tell, it's up 300% pre-market. Somewhat of a downward trend right now, but this should easily go boom far beyond where it's at right now. The question is, will it? Is meme market gonna ruin it, or is it actually gonna go blow up? There's a lot to look at today. It's all in the description below, but we're working with lots of different stocks on the watch today. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up right now because I believe in it. I'm just gonna put limit price at 9. I want to pick up. I'm gonna go ahead and say 2,000. All right, so at least I got my order in for now. Oh, forgot to put this. It should fill when it goes. Should have filled. Okay, perfect. So now that I got that in, I can talk to you guys. AEMD just last night published at 12:22 p.m. and of course right after that in the morning the stock just blew up, right? First ever in vivo removal of COVID virus from bloodstream of an infected patient. So that basically means they cured it, right? They cured it. So too much happening and I don't want to miss out on anything while trying to talk to you guys, but AEMD right here. So yeah, first ever in vivo removal of COVID virus from bloodstream of an infected patient. Last week AEMD announced that the Athlon Purifier, right, so blood purifier, produced positive results in treating 2 patients who were critically ill with COVID-19. Neither patient was expected to survive. The Purifier therefore was used under the FDA emergency use authorization, right? So just like the same kind of authorization as getting with the vaccinations, right? Not an actual full FDA approval, but an authorization that basically says, yeah, sure, I give you permission to use this because of the emergency situation we're in. And as you can see, it's flying off right now. This stock, since it's had its massive boom of practically tripling overnight, there's a huge chance of it, going up and coming back down, just going up, whatever it might be. And either way, there's going to be multiple moments of either scalping or actually sitting along with it. What I've seen over the last 2 weeks of live day trading with everyone is that diamond hands are paying off. For example, yesterday we played along with Clove, right? CLOV, big time jump. But imagine if you didn't panic sell, like right here when it was at 21 and it started falling like crazy down to 17 again. Depending on where you picked it up, you're golden. Like if you were able to hold Clove from like $9 for some reason, maybe you heard some news or something and you picked it up at $9, you just tripled all of that easily, right? So AEMD is one of those things right now where this kind of news, where they literally saved patients that were not expected to survive, that's huge. That is unrealistic, right? That kind of news, you know that AEMD more than now deserves to go up to that same level boom that some of these other older stocks had, like BTX and um, AVNS, right? And then, of course, even just last week, BIIB for their Alzheimer's treatment that they discovered, like legitimate skyrocketing booms, right? So I've put in a big order here for this one. Let me just call my friends real quick too so that they can pick it up because they are not responding to one of my messages here. Hey, are you still sleeping? Okay, I'm texting you. Look at it real quick. Yeah. See, this is what friends are for, right? You got friends that are falling asleep. You gotta wake them up and let them know it is time to get into action. Um, can't sleep on AEMD. Cannot sleep on AMD. Today, this news with AMD is so big that there really won't be a chance to play around with any of these other stocks that I've got listed up here or in the description. There's way too much happening. Like, there are so many other stocks. Where, for example, Clovis Oncology, another one this morning, pre-hours, right, pre-market, practically went up a good. Well, they told you how much. Right here, this day they went up 40%. 40% jump, right? That's insane. That's insane. They also have some news, and I haven't had a chance to look it up yet because no one cares right now, right? This is it. This is all that matters right now. We can already see the return on investment we're getting. There's a chance that AMC may no longer actually be making a comeback, but I'm hopeful. I'm gonna wait until if it starts falling below 50. I'm not gonna try to buy it anymore. Good morning, Joe. Good to have you here. Um, you need to buy AMD right now. Like, just get it. Hurry up and buy it. Put in a limit order of $11, and hopefully you get to pick it up at under 11 or 11. But buy it if you haven't already. I picked it up at 9 as soon as I could because I'm a trash person and I use Robinhood. Had I had webull, which opens up even earlier, I think 4 a.m., I'd be able to buy it even earlier. So really need to get AMD right now. This is gonna be so to give you an example of what AMD might become. Let's look at BTX. So BTX, when they first, this was when where I messed up. I told everyone on the channel that I bought it. I forgot I bought it. I got busy, never got a chance to sell it. They just last month had. This is where I bought it. Like I bought it in this jump that was happening, and I got in at like after this first huge jump that occurred. I bought it when it was trying to dip down again. I believe at this dip it did actually go down to about $30ish, and then it didn't register because it probably wasn't official or whatever. And and then from here I rode it all the way. You see what it did because of some good news, right? This thing went ballistic. It was a $5 stock. All right, $5 stock. It went ballistic. Same thing if you look at ANVS, right? Another stock that has been having a lot of success in their research. Literally, just boom, $60. And then today, even still now, it's going towards bigger and bigger numbers every day over the 3 month period. And then and we've seen so many examples of this, so many different examples of this. This article here is evidence that by practically having cured cases, so now I want to spend a little time. I actually want to look at the cases, right? So case number one: improvement in COVID-related coagulopathy, lung injury, and inflammation and tissue injury. What we've learned from AEMD is that, yeah, man, AEMD is going huge, Joe. Like, I'm here. I picked up 2,000 shares of it at $9, doing my best. I'm gonna ride this along. I'm gonna diamond hand it all the way because this thing is gonna blow up. So COVID, what we've learned, right? Because I do. So I myself am working for a research called ISPY, ISPY, where it's a national research throughout America where we are taking COVID patients and trying different medications on them as a part of a clinical trial. And what we've learned with COVID is that one of the ways, one of the obvious ways people die, of course, is lung injury, right? That their lung is just not going to work anymore and they can't breathe and they die. But what exactly do we mean by lung injury? Well, it's not just that you have like tuberculosis or pneumonia or something like that. No, there's so much of your own body reacting to the virus that you end up making so many inflammatory cytokines you kill yourself. That's one of the simplest ways to explain it, right? And it has been seen in patients who are taking medications that are somewhat immunosuppressive, like prednisone, right? Prednisone is a corticosteroid that essentially is used to treat autoimmune disorders by turning off some parts of your own immune system. People that were taking prednisone were less reactive to COVID, and although they got sick and possibly even got hospitalized, they didn't die because they didn't try fighting the virus so hard that they killed themselves, right? So this is actually stopping some of the things your own body does in response to infection and really bad disease, right? Your body will become more coagulable when things are in panic mode. For example, a pregnant woman is hypercoagulable for multiple reasons, right? Coagulopathy is a PATHY, so it's a pathology. Coagulopathy basically means that your blood is very, very much just sticking, and it's become really thicker in a sense. And that's really bad because then if your blood is like that, it's not going to flow that well. All in all, these things end up causing major issues and you die, right? So here they say after about 3 weeks, doctors requested human purifier treatment for the patient in case number one under the EUA, which is the EUA being the emergency use authorization by FDA, which means that there's no FDA approval yet, right? There's no FDA approval yet, but you can get the emergency authorization because it'll save a life. So that being said, when that actually is another point to keep in mind, that when the FDA approval does come around, it's really gonna go mega boom, right? Like it's gonna blow up. What's happening right now with the price fluctuations that we're watching right now is that, of course, all these people, any people that were invested into AEMD at the $2 price range, which is literally what it's been at for like the life of it, you can see, right? It's like the highest has gone, it's almost touching 3, but not really. Here, kind of sort of touching 3. That's about it. Anyone that was invested on AEMD for all that time is kind of sort of selling it at $9, $10, right? Like they're just like, oh my god, my whole investment just tripled, I'm out. But then they're also realizing at the same time that it tripled, but your investment can actually possibly go 10x because of the news. So of course there's a selling happening and there's a lot of buying happening. The level 2 data is showing all of that. So this is gonna keep going up today. This is it. There's nothing else to really worry about today. You just buy it, you sit back, you enjoy the show, you sip your coffee. You don't even have to worry about selling on dips and buying back in and scalping or any of that shit. You just relax. I heavily am confident that by the end of today, this is easily going to be $20 and possibly even more. The only thing that is slowing it down is the fact that Reddit stock market, the whole theme of shorting, there are far too many things being shorted. So you can see anyone that held Clove overnight, this thing was literally $8. This has been boomed. Checkpoint Therapeutics is one that I want to keep my eye on, so I kept it here. That's another pharma stock. Clovis Oncology, I want to keep my eye on. Sensonics was being shorted yesterday, but you can see, like, it's a slower short, but it's happening. This literally just overnight. The whole week it wasn't doing anything major. It had little moments of going up like $1, and then overnight yesterday it just went up a good $4. Huge things happening with a lot of stocks that you don't expect to go up. Kodak, Nokia, all of these things that are going to be flying up. There's also these guys, FRX. So FRX has been booming over the last 2 days. Crazy stuff. Anyone that got in, good profits right here. Let me just see something real quick. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't even like really want to look at anything else right now. I kind of want to take the money out of here as well, because I had changed my limit sell to 60, really hoping it would get, at least just hit 60 today and just get out. If this goes below 50, I'm just gonna tap out of it. And again, I wouldn't really be worried about this little bit of a loss either, because AMC made tons already for all of us, so a tiny setback is not the biggest problem. But I am still pretty confident that it can break 60, because I mean, at its peak it was almost $72 at a point, and overall it's been holding over 50 pretty well. So at any point it could once again break the price, but of course they figured out ways to fight back, right? So uh, if you haven't seen, a lot of things happen with AMC. I forgot what the company was, but some company bought a bunch of puts and calls to save AMC and make up for their losses, basically, to recover from the shorting that caused them injuries. So basically, if the person you're trying to mess up is kind of sort of recovering, then you don't have much to keep attacking them for. I think honestly, the only thing even slowing this is just the fact that it's meme week. Moving on though, that was the first patient, right? So they did the emergency treatment, he got better, right? Everything was whatever with him. There were observed decreases in total exosomal concentration in the patient compared to prior to the human purifier treatment. And the patient's acute lung injury also improved. Everything got better. It was pretty unreal. Case number 2, first ever demonstrated in vivo, which means live, removal of SARS-CoV-2 virus from infected patients. They literally, in a sense, filtered it out. The second patient was a 67-year-old man with a history of coronary artery disease and newly diagnosed diabetes, among many other comorbid conditions, who also had acute kidney injuries. So when a patient comes in with diabetes, heart problems, and kidney injury, they're already not going to be very good prognosis, because thinking about treating them is hard now too. There's a lot of medications you can't give patients where their kidney doesn't work, because then they can't actually excrete the medication very well. So then they're going to overdose, and even treatment in general is too hard for them. There's a lot of issues. This patient made it. The patient completed a 6-hour purifier treatment without complications and was placed on continuous renal replacement therapy, which is necessary, of course, because when you don't have a kidney, you have to get therapy that does the job for you, for your kidney. And although the patient ultimately died after the renal therapy because his disease was at advanced stage, the hemopurifier treatment showed that it could be beneficial. Right, so of course now the patient did die, but that was expected considering the overall comorbidities the patient had. The overall comorbidities this patient had, even with the treatment, this patient just wasn't young and healthy enough to now be able to fight back. Like literally the virus has been removed from them. So now, of course, all inflammation is going to go away. Medications would be able to help, but things are just so difficult for the patient overall that they couldn't make it. In summary, the 2 case studies indicate that the hemopurifier successfully cleared CoV-2 virus and associated exosomes from the bloodstream. AEMD demonstrated the removal of COVID-19 from a viremic patient by the hemopurifier for the first time ever. Total exosome concentrations and noxious exosomal microRNAs associated with coagulopathy and acute lung injury also decreased. All in all, the patient successfully should have made it had they not had diabetes and chronic renal injury or the coronary artery disease, all of which in summary make anyone weak, right? Like at that point, this patient could have had any other infection that was really bad and still wouldn't make it. So it's unfortunate that this patient died, but we're thankful to them for being a part of the clinical trial and being able to show us that this is hopeful, right? That this is something that can save lives. And of course, the first patient, they didn't give much information of the patient's age and stuff like that, but this patient made it. Right? This first patient made it. So this is big news, like real big news. If we look at what people are saying on StockTwits, let's take a look over there. So right here we are. I'll put this on my watch list. Let's refresh. Why is it still saying 221 here? This thing, oh, no data available. It must be heavily lagging with too many people watching it or something. But let's see, make it or break it moment here, guys. Still expect another big bull run incoming. Volume is our best friend. Definitely the strongest stock today in terms of indicator numbers. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm looking at the level 2 data from one of my friends that keeps sharing screenshots of it, and it's just blowing, right? So here we go, 5 big ballers today, right? We have everything open here as well. Some of the things that could be making some big moves, but again, no one really has time for anything else right now. Like it's just, and nor do I really have much funding left to spend anywhere else, but actually, I want to see what KYNC, CPSL. What are these? I don't want to buy clean energy fuel was just something I was showing. I think KYNC is either KYNC. Either the patient wrote the wrong thing. I mean the patient. Either this guy wrote the wrong thing, or it's not something available on Robinhood. Yeah, these must not be on Robinhood. These must be on another app or something. What is Love Line Electric Company? Yes, far out of my range. I want to see AEMD hit 11. That's definitely going to be a big moment. If we look at let me post it right here. So this is what we're seeing on the level 2 data. So basically there's a little bit of, I guess for mean weak reasons, a little bit of resistance right here at the 1040 range. Right, so we need to pop through that. That's basically all we need. All in all though, everything else is looking pretty good. The RSI, the volume, and of course the hype and the attention AEMD is getting for their major success. And I can imagine over time there's going to be much more success, right? Because now AEMD is going to be required or suggested to literally make this so that they can send it everywhere. They can send it everywhere to all the different countries. And well, I guess first we need to get it throughout America. right? Get FDA approval, which is also going to be a huge thing. That's going to be another day. It's going to skyrocket. Yeah, CLOV does have a $30 price target, but it's kind of slowed down right now. It should get there eventually. Um, but it's such an expensive price now that whatever I pick up, my gains on it wouldn't be that much. I just remembered one of my friends is traveling to Florida. I need to let them know as well. Hi Cynthia, nice to have you here. And yes, definitely. I just now texted one of my best friend. He's actually in Florida right now traveling, and I just texted him saying, AEMD, they cured COVID. Look it up, buy the stock quick, and hold it. It's booming, and it'll go boom again when they get FDA approval. It is definitely a buy. Doesn't matter what price you get in, or if you want to watch and relax and then buy. I got in at $9 with 2,000 shares right here. It's going up. It's going great. It's already had a huge boost overnight in pre-market time because of the news that came out. Right, so this news was published last night, 12:22 p.m. Right, so they literally basically completely cured two patients in a sense, right? The potential it has now with future research is leading to even better complete curing of patients. They've made a human purifier that basically takes COVID out of your blood, and once your COVID is out of your blood, it's gone. This treatment may even actually lead to other things being treated in a similar manner as well, right? If this is a virus, treating viral infection in general is often very ridiculous. Like, one of the most notorious virus everyone knows is ridiculously hard to treat is HIV. How do you take care of that? So here we're basically seeing a way that can possibly even cure HIV. That if you could just take all the HIV cells out, not cells, excuse me, if you could just take all the HIV viral particles out of a patient, then theoretically they would be HIV free, right? So whatever this human purifier is, whatever they have created, if it can successfully, keep treating more COVID patients, they will get that FDA approval. Right now, they just used it in emergency use authorization, but they will get that FDA approval. It will continue to skyrocket to a stock that may basically become $100 stock. Right? So anyone that was holding it for the longest time, it was never, something massive in price value. So basically, from $2 to $10 today, they are millionaires, right? Whatever they invested. This is so fun. It's nice. First we had Joe, now we have Cynthia. We're expanding. We are growing. And this is growing. Here we go. Right, so I'm hoping that this can start, showing bigger numbers, because right now the only thing slowing it down at all is just the fact that it's meme week for like ever. It almost feels like it's meme year. And people have their money kind of tied up in some of these meme stocks that are booming. So you have to understand, a lot of people that are brand new investors are not exactly intelligent investors, and some of them have done well. I mean, I can't really talk. I've done it here too, right? But I have enough money to spend, so I was able to do it. But basically, what I'm saying is some people have bought things at such a high price that they can't even tap out, right? So that's what's happening with a lot of people. With AMC, my last time I bought it, I averaged it out to $58, and I was sure that I would get to sell it at 70 one more time because I already sold it at 70 twice, right? So I sold it right here. I sold it June 2nd, 200 shares at $70. I sold again on the same day, 300 shares at $70. So I was hoping to get it done one more time, but of course it hasn't really come back. But I'm not too worried here. I'm not that far off, and I wouldn't mind taking a tiny L. I've already submitted a limit sell to get rid of it if it ever hits 60, so just so I can get out of it, take my funding out of it. Oh, nice. Here we go. Look at that. We look away for a little bit, and it breaks 11, right? So now, of course, next thing we want to see it do is break 12. There's always going to be people that are going to also understand that not to panic when it starts going down. It's not crashing, it's not dipping, it's called having a healthy pullback, right? This is already up nearly 400%, taking into account everything that happened overnight, right? The pre-market session. So it's gonna be having its thing. Now I do kind of want to scalp it just because why not? So I'm gonna set here a well, I was thinking I was gonna try selling it at 11, buy back in, but then what can happen with limit sells is that it will sell at 11 and then it's gonna keep going to like 12.50 so quickly I won't have enough time to buy back in. So it would be best to just diamond hand it, but I'm gonna try some things with it here since it's looking so volatile. Trying to, I'm gonna try to like buy into it and sell it over and over multiple times to scalp out maximum funding from it. So looking at this, I think that trying to get rid of it right now where it's sitting, I should be able to get a sell out of it really quickly at 11. Sell all. I'm gonna submit a sell order to get rid of it at 11, just so I can buy back in when it continues to dip back down, and I'll be ready to buy it real quick again if it's still booming past 11, which it probably will. If it hits 11, it'll keep going, and that's the only issue with, I don't want to miss out. I'll leave it because thing is, if it breaks past 11, I'm gonna cancel that order. If it breaks past 11, it'll keep going, and it's gonna go so quickly that I'll miss out on some critical cents in between. As you know, when you buy many shares of something, every single cent counts. So yeah, I'm just gonna. It's just too exciting, but I'll sit back and watch. Right, this thing is causing two things to occur. People that are in it from a very, very cheap price are going crazy and really want to sell it, so they want to pull out a big amount of money from it. But at the same time, new people that are just discovering this today are also going really crazy about it because this is very exciting news, and they're putting big amounts of money into it. So there's a lot happening here, and she's shaky. She's definitely shaky, but she's holding, and there's nothing to really worry about because this kind of news is no little joke here, right? This is huge. So broke 11, but it's breaking 11 so slowly. I'm gonna go ahead and just do it. Fuck it. Let me see. Like if I could get the sell and then come back in when it hits like 1050 again, that's a pretty good scalp right there. Right now it looks like it's about to go way past. Yeah. Where is it going to? 11:10. She's dancing. Selling it. So the other thing that often also sucks is, let's say I did sell at 11, right? And then I try getting back in it at like 1080, because it does keep coming back to that 10.84 price. Oof. Yeah, I don't know what what to do here. I mean, I wanted to sell it if it went below 50, so I'm thinking I'm going to tap out of here so I have more money to put into here if I buy back in, sell and buy back in. And that's actually what I'm going to go ahead and try to do. I'm going to just cancel this limit order. Try to just sell it at like, I mean, this is nice that people are pulling out of here because that probably means that they're going to try to put it somewhere else, and hopefully that somewhere else is AEMD. But for now, this is not really worth messing around with. It's going down too quickly. I'll wait for a tiny pullback. That's too low. I don't want to sell under 50. Fuck that. Literally feels like there's a wall at 10.80 and it just is stuck at 10.80. How are these other guys doing? Slow and easy, slow and easy. CLOV is cooling off after its week-long action. Yeah, the other guys are not really having any major action right now. Excuse me. Here we are back at 11 again. But yeah, I could sell at 11, buy back in at 1080, and then at that point I'd be at such a point that every time we'll go to 1050, I'd feel like I lost a little blood there. So this is a very safe spot to be in. Like, I'll be green unless it comes all the way down 9, which it really won't happen. Let me see. I mean, I'm up a good 16% for the day. Should I try to submit a limit order to get rid of it at 11? It's been struggling here so much though that I wouldn't do it now. If I had done it, that'd be great, and then try to buy back at 10:30. I wouldn't try doing this now though, because now with the struggle that it's going through, if it does make it back to 11, it really will fly pretty high. So I'm gonna just keep watching. In fact, it was best when I wasn't watching it, right? Because when we weren't looking, it was being all cute and it jumped up quite a bit. AMC back to 50. AMC's been doing this shit every day though. I mean, it's lost its hype and power right now after it did this day. Right? That was it. And that day I got sold it at 70 twice. So a tiny loss here will just be money going back to some of the gains I already made. But I do want to pull the funding out of it so I can use it with either AMD or anyone else really. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to sell this at 50 and just actually I'll chill out. I don't need to sell it right now. It's okay. It's not dying. But I do want to maintain my stop loss at 50. And I don't really submit stop losses like that. I try to keep it a mental stop loss. Sometimes I'll submit an actual stop loss and have it in the order, but this is more something I'll just watch. I have faith, if anything, that this is going to go pretty well. Under 10, look at that. Had I sold at 11, I'd have a nice opportunity to buy it again. But now I can't submit that because next time it comes back up to that price, it will go way past it. What the fuck? So my goal today with AEMD is basically going to be just this. There's really nothing else to worry about today. We're going to watch this. We're going to hold it. We're going to enjoy the gains. Keep it. Don't do much about selling it or anything like that. And then take your profits where you want, wherever you want. Any profits or profits, be happy with it. And then I'm going to hold it through tonight and the week and pretty much keep some position of it. I'm not going to sell all of it at any point. I'll keep some position in there at my $9 price. I'm in at a great price, the best price I could have gotten in at, because I basically tried getting in as soon as things were popping up, right? So like right at opening market, I got in. And then at this point, like I just want to hold it until the day comes where it even gets FDA approval and so on and so on, and just enjoy the ride, right? So that's basically it for today. And then next time tomorrow, well, actually throughout the day, I'll be updating the title as usual. So I always update the title of the video for the day to show what the progress was. And then the Discord server I have is populating right now, so there's not too much going on there yet, but that link is down there. And you know, join us there, and then let's get this going. So thanks a lot for joining today. Welcome to the team, Joe and Cynthia, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning.